Welcome to Jikook. Hope you are all doing well, Jikook fans. Today, I will bring you a video full of happiness, tenderness, and surprises. The post features footage from the Netflix documentary BTS: The Return, which premiered on March 27, 2026, showing BTS member Jimin engrossed in playing League of Legends as a support, and admitting to having played for more than 10 hours of marathons on unstructured days without exercise. In the footage, Jimin looks so relaxed, sitting focused in front of the screen, completely immersed in his game as a support. He even admitted with an innocent expression that if there was no workout or training schedule, he could play from morning to night without feeling like time had passed. This recognition feels very human. The figure who has been known for high discipline, relentless training, and perfectionism on stage, also has a true gamer side who can forget time. That's where the attraction lies. ARMY sees another side of Jimin that is rarely exposed. Not an idol on stage, but rather someone who enjoys his free time in a way that is very relatable to many. What makes this scene even more special is how Jungkook is in the same moment, watching, joking, and giving his signature reaction. Their interaction feels natural, not made up, like two friends enjoying a relaxing time. The chemistry between the two is so strong that even in a situation as simple as playing a game, the aura of closeness is still felt. Fans who have been following their journey for a long time immediately caught the warmth that emanated from the small interaction. The documentary itself shows the BTS members' journey after their mandatory military service, as they reconvene in Los Angeles to prepare for a new album. But in the midst of big stories about reunions, creativity, and the pressure of the global music industry, it is precisely moments like this that steal the hearts of the audience. The scene of Jimin playing League of Legends for hours presents a refreshing contrast. From world-class idols to time-for-time home gamers, this transition feels very authentic. For the gamer community, Jimin's recognition is also a unique bridge between the world of K-pop and esports. League of Legends is one of the most popular games in the world, with millions of players active every day. Knowing that a BTS member spends hours playing the same game makes many fans feel closer to him. It's no longer about celebrities who are out of reach, but someone with the same hobbies as them. ARMY is also busy talking about how Jimin plays a support role in the game. Many attribute this to his real-world personality, a person who is always caring, supportive, and caring about the people around him. Even small things like in-game roles can be the subject of long discussions in the fandom, as every detail of Jimin is always interesting to notice. Meanwhile, Jungkook's reaction beside him enriches the moment. The gazes, small smiles, and light jokes between them are enough to make fans smile to themselves. There are no dramatic dialogues, no big scenes, just two people enjoying the company of free time. But it is precisely that simplicity that makes it feel so real. The BTS: The Return documentary seems to deliberately maintain spontaneous moments like these to show the human side of the members. They are not only performers on a giant stage, but also individuals with simple habits, hobbies, and ways of relaxing. Jimin, who plays games for 10 hours non-stop, is a symbol that behind the busy schedule and demands of professionalism, they are still young people who enjoy their free time in the usual way. For many viewers, this scene became one of the most memorable highlights. Not because of the drama, but because of the warmth. It's a moment where ARMY feels like they see home in their idol's figure. Something familiar, comfortable, and smiling. In the end, Jimin's confession about the League of Legends marathon and Jungkook's presence by his side is not just trivia from a documentary. It becomes a small portrait of friendship, hobbies, and the human side that is often hidden behind the glitter of the entertainment world. And as always, when Jimin and Jungkook are in the same frame, even an activity as simple as playing a game can turn into an iconic moment that is talked about throughout the fandom. The light conversation around the screen continues to flow without feeling forced. Jimin chuckled occasionally when his team's strategy worked, then let out a long sigh as the situation in the game became chaotic. On the other hand, Jungkook seemed to enjoy his role as the most loyal viewer, giving a brief comment that actually made the atmosphere even warmer. None of the cameras feel distracting, as if the audience is actually allowed to see snippets of personal time that are usually never exposed to the public. This moment feels even more interesting because it comes in the middle of BTS. The return's big plot full of emotions about reunions, creative processes, and comeback pressures after a long hiatus. Those simple scenes become a soothing pause, like a long breath between big stories. The audience is invited to see that behind their musical ambitions and high professional standards, there is a small space where they can be themselves. Many fans later realized that Jimin's habit of playing League of Legends for hours was not just a regular hobby, but also a way to unwind. The game world becomes a safe space where it can sink without the burden of public expectations. There are no stage highlights, no choreography that has to be perfect, no camera judging. Just focus, strategy, and simple fun when playing as support for his team. The small interaction between the two shows a dynamic that has been built up over the years. Jungkook knows when to joke, when to shut up, and when it's enough to just sit their company. Jimin also looked comfortable with the presence, not feeling disturbed, just like getting extra energy. This is what many armies call it, an authentic Jikook moment, not because it's made dramatic, but because it feels real. This footage also made many viewers smile because it was so relatable. Anyone who has ever played a game knows what it's like to say, "One more match," and then unknowingly hours of time has passed. Seeing a BTS member experience the same thing creates a strong emotional closeness. The idol, who is usually seen far away on stage, suddenly feels like a friend sitting in the next room, engrossed in playing games until they forget time. In the context of this documentary that aired on Netflix, the scene seems to be a reminder that togetherness does not always have to be shown through long conversations or emotional scenes. Sometimes, just sitting next to each other in comfortable silence is enough to show closeness. The camera just records, without the need for additional narration, and that's where the honesty comes in. The longer the scene lasts, the more it becomes apparent that a relaxing time like this is an important part of their life balance. After years of being in the global spotlight with BTS, simple moments like playing games together have become a very valuable form of break. Not a fancy vacation, not a big event, but a small routine that brings comfort. For ARMY, this is not just a funny or interesting scene. This is a real-life piece that is rarely seen. The moment where Jimin could be himself without having to think about anything, accompanied by Jungkook, who understood that rhythm very well. And from there, one small scene in front of a computer screen turns into one of the most memorable parts of the entire documentary.